Hey everyone, how's it going? God Gamer here. Today I'm going to be reacting to Yarlik's Zero Geo versus the Swarm. So this is a pretty hilarious concept for a tool-assisted speedrun. The idea is that you're doing a Zero Geo speedrun, which is a speedrun where you cannot pick up any geo or the run instantly ends, but you also start the run with Gathering Swarm equipped. So any geo that gets dropped by an enemy is going to be instantly sucked up toward your character, and you actually have to dodge it in order to continue the run. And there are plenty of spots where you have to kill enemies to proceed. And to top it off, it's going to be a true ending run just to make it even more difficult. So Yarlik actually does plenty of these tool-assisted speedruns on his channel, so make sure to go check his channel out. There will be a link in the description. Okay, but let's get right into watching this. This video actually released a few months ago. I just haven't had the time to sit down and watch it. But it's such a good concept. I absolutely love the idea of just making a task to do something really stupid, difficult, and completely unnecessary, but really fun to watch. I love the idea. And like in any TAS in King's Pass, you see a lot of these turnaround nail slashes just to get knockback that kind of like boosts you forward a little bit. It's not really viable to do in actual speedruns because it's kind of frame perfect or extremely precise. Of course, they go for the RNG soft fall. If you actually just walk off the ledge, there's like a 1 in 4 chance that you won't get the hard fall stun. Players used to do that, and then they found a better way that you can consistently avoid the hard fall. So we don't go for RNG soft fall anymore, even though it's technically faster. Looks like we're going for Fury of the Fallen in the run. Oh, and just hidden the Geo Rock. It's completely unnecessary. And you can see, like, Gathering Swarm, you can manipulate the geo in such a way that it just constantly orbits around you, so you never actually pick it up. But it's not easy to do. Like, if you're a human player, I don't know if you can consistently do that on purpose. It's only because it's a TAS and they've just like mapped out the inputs to the frame that they're able to consistently do that. And yeah, they use a save and quit strat after picking up Fury of the Fallen, because when you leave King's Pass, you actually set like a checkpoint. So when you go back into King's Pass, you can pick up Fury of the Fallen and then just save and quit out afterward. I'm curious if they're going to kill False Knight or not. Because technically, there was a discovery that you can go straight to Green Path without Long Nail or Fury of the Fallen. Oh, and this is going to be a spot where they're going to have to dodge the Geo. There's a lot of Geo. Holy shit. Oh my god. That is insane. I love the replay that he's got going on. That is so... holy shit. They're manipulating them in like 2 separate orbits around him. But yeah, they just went and got the bench, and we're going straight back to Green Path. So we are using that little trick where you'll see what he does. He's gonna get Fury of the Fallen, so he's intentionally lowering his health. And what they do is they damage tank here, and that just allows you to get like a speed boost into the Balder, essentially. And it lets you get 1 hit. Normally you can't like just walk up to the Balder and hit it, so you need like the boost from taking damage. I tried to oh, and there's a lot of Geo. He intentionally like makes it circle around him, so it all gathers up into one pile, essentially. That's pretty smart. But yeah, I tried doing that trick where you damage boost into the Balder. I can't do it. I couldn't do it even once, and I tried for like a half hour. So that's like basically TAS only, in my opinion, unless someone finds out a way to do it easier. That's an insanely difficult trick. but it lets you go straight to Hornet. So it's pretty useful. If players could find out how to do it, it might be pretty helpful in speedruns. Might change the any percent route. Although I don't think that's happening. He actually hit the Vengefly to the right when he was also on the right side of it. That was a funny hitbox. Oh, and this is the static slash. So you can actually use nail knockback on that moss creep or whatever that spawns, and also on the platform to avoid having, like, to skip having to do the fireball skip. Although in this case, it's not even a skip because he doesn't have fireball. It's the only option. This is really entertaining so far. This is going to be another spot where he has to collect Geo. So funny how he finds those little gaps, like the tiniest gap to just go through. Oh my god. So I wonder, in terms of routing, if he'll be going for, like, this is a true ending run, so I guess he's going to be doing Crystal Peak or Crystal Heart, presumably. Although this is a TAS, so I don't know, like, what kinds of crazy skips he's going to be doing. So maybe he'll be able to skip some of the abilities. I don't know. Like, normally you'd expect the player to collect Crystal Heart and Isma's Tear, but who knows, because it's TAS. Or it's going to be fast because he's got Fury and it's a TAS. I love the idea of pogoing Hornet to manipulate her positioning, because when you pogo her, you knock her downward. And I tried to implement that into the any percent speedrun, but it's like, I don't know if it's humanly viable to do, because it's just like too difficult. And there's RNG in her jumps, because sometimes she'll jump far, sometimes she'll jump close. So it's hard to actually manipulate her position with pogos. But seeing a TAS do it, really cool. I like that. It just lets you stay close to her the entire time. A lot easier. And we're going to Fungal. That's why he got the bench. So he could just save and quit back and go straight into Fungal. Makes sense. Love the cute nail knockback strats. But yeah, I am curious about the route, because if he's going to Crystal Peak, consider this. He's going to have to go through Soul Sanctum. So that's going to be fun. Although he doesn't have City Crest yet, so he won't be going from the left side if he does. And sorry, I should elaborate. The reason that he's going to potentially go to Soul Sanctum to get Desolate Dive is because that's needed to get into Crystal Peak, because he won't have the option of getting Lumafly Lantern. Lumafly Lantern's needed to get through the toll in Crystal Peak, because you can't interact with it in the dark. So his only option might be to get Desolate Dive if he needs to go into Crystal Peak, which I'm not sure he does. I'm not the most helpful commentator right now. I'm just kind of speculating because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know where he's going right now. Like, is he going to Deep Nest? For, like, he could be going to Deep Nest for Trampass. And that would let him get straight into Resting Grounds. Oh. No, he's not going to Deep Nest. My game knowledge is pitiful right now. We're going to Queen's Station. Nope. Is he getting Wraiths? Like, just for the... Like, you probably want to get Wraiths eventually, right? For damage, I guess. Like, you also have to consider that it's a TAS, but that doesn't mean the route is like an optimal speed route, right? So it's not necessarily going to follow the true ending speedrun route exactly, especially because it's using like a TAS only trick right in the very beginning that lets it get straight into green path. And this is kind of like a speedrun that's just designed to be flashy anyway. As I was saying. Every single one of these Vengeflies, or Squits rather, drop 3 Geo. So... I think he just decided to go here just to show off. That's my theory right now. And I'm all for it. And even in this like little cutscene, the Geo's just perfectly swirling around him. I love it. So good. And we're save and quitting back to the hot spring. Now, he could go straight to resting grounds if he does the shade skip. And that's kind of what I expect, because the only other real option is going to like false knight if he wants to get city crest, but he's already been through fungal wastes and he would have got city crest first if that was his plan. So we're going to the shade skip. Getting Dream Nail pretty early is important in the true ending run because you want to start collecting essence as early as you can, because you need a lot of it to get true ending. And Howling Wraiths is just going to be nice to have because, like, it does a lot of damage. And Dream Warriors, you can't get nail upgrades to kill them faster because their health just scales up the more nail upgrades you get. So the best way to kill Dream Warriors quickly is to get spells. That's why true ending doesn't get nail upgrades, it just gets spells, and you can nuke the Dream Warriors super fast because their HP is scaled to having no nail upgrades. So like their HP ends up being super low. You can kill them really fast with upgraded spells. I'm just staring at this replay. Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, I was kind of curious because it looked like he wasn't going for the wall cling storage. So that's a trick where the game thinks that you're on a wall, and when you dash, it just preserves your momentum instead of like normally when you dash, there's a cooldown in between each dash where your speed drops back to normal. Because the game thinks you're on a wall, it just keeps your dash speed the entire time. I don't know why that happens exactly, but that's how the game works. So when you trick the game into thinking you're on a wall like that, you just end up being able to zoom through Blue Lake. Normally when you land, your game's like wall status, like whether you're clinging to a wall, updates, but if you just drop into water, it doesn't update, so you can just continue to jump through Blue Lake and dash, and the game just still thinks you're on a wall, so you get that speed boost. Oh, and he used wall cling storage again. See, those wall cling storage uses are not really like humanly viable, at least not to my knowledge. There's some ways you can get it in Hollow Knight with like extremely precise frame perfect inputs that human players are never going to be able to do, but TASs can. That's why you see TASs go for all these like ridiculous wall cling storage strats, but you don't see it from players. You just see players do it in very specific locations where it's a lot more lenient to pull off. But it's fun to watch. So, oh, he's actually not killing Zero. Interesting. I figured that would be the first thing that he would do. But the way that he's able to chain walkling storage, like I said, when you hit the ground, it normally updates your wall status. So it realizes you're not on a wall. But if you do a frame perfect jump input, the instant you land, it doesn't have enough time to update your walkling status. So if you continue to do these frame perfect jumps, when you hit the ground, it never updates your walkling status. You can just continue to hold walkling storage. You see players do that sometimes, but it's pretty precise. So, like, if a player gets, you know, multiple walkling storages in a row chained together, it's pretty impressive. But yeah, we're just going to Watcher Knights / Soul Sanctum? Yeah. Looks like he's going to Soul Sanctum first. Makes sense because he wants to get Dive. That's kind of what I thought would be the case. So, like, technically he could skip a lot of the game using all the walkling storage that he's doing. Like, he could just use walkling storage instead of Crystal Heart in a lot of places. But the NMG rules kind of say something like you can't skip getting Crystal Heart and just use walkling storage. You have to have Crystal Heart in order to use walkling storage to get through a location where you would need Crystal Heart. Hopefully I explained that properly. Basically, you can't just skip getting the ability. If you need it normally, then you still have to get it. Which is why, like, in the any percent speedrun, you see people do walkling storage to get to Monomon, like after Umu. You need Crystal Heart normally to get through that spot, and technically in the speedrun we could skip Crystal Heart and just use walkling storage there, but the rules say you have to get Crystal Heart. And that's just to prevent the run from becoming all about... Oh my god. Soulmaster's getting destroyed. That's just to prevent the run from becoming all about, like, execution of walkling storage for skips, essentially. It's always really fun to watch these TASs just completely destroy bosses. It's also funny how that boss doesn't have a hitbox at the top of his first dive. So, like, you don't take damage from him. You also can't deal damage. It's all these little intricacies of the game that you learn when speedrunning. Lots of stuff that just makes no fucking sense. But that's the way it is. And we've got Dive. That lets us get into Crystal Peak. Oh, and of course doing Soul Tyrant for the Essence. For some reason, I totally forgot that that was a good reason to come here. This will be fun to watch. He has to damage tank down to 1 HP, so you'll kind of see the TAS trying to use as optimal strats as possible to get down to 1 HP as quickly as he can, or it can. Not sure whether to say it or he, because I'm talking about the TAS doing things, but it's also Yarlik who programmed the TAS. Oh my god, it's so satisfying to get all these nail swings on this boss. Because normally when you fight this boss, you just dash across the screen to get to the boss and it just teleports away. So satisfying. The little wall jump up to get to the boss. Very nice. The pogo. I love the pogos. That's so cool. That was awesome. Normally you kill this boss so much faster, like even in a regular speedrun you would kill it faster than this because you'd have some like upgrades, right? So it's fun to see like a TAS actually have to spend some time killing a boss. A lot of the time you see TASes kill a boss in like 2 seconds, and it's impressive. Oh, there's going to be a lot of Geo here. This is a big room. Oh, he's just intentionally killing the enemies. Just give me some more Geo to dodge. Oh, man. See, if you watched my video on the explanation of like the Zero Geo speedrun, you'll know that they save and quit out after killing each of these enemies in the actual speedrun. Because they kill the enemy, then... Oh, no, it's not that they kill the enemy, it's that they break the floor and then they save and quit out. I was kind of misremembering that. But like, because of the fact that after you dive, you're guaranteed to kill enemies in certain spots, they just save and quit out, and then they don't have to dive and kill those enemies. But he doesn't bother with that, because you can just dodge, just get good and dodge the Geo instead, speedrunners. Oh, man. Oh, the slow walkling storage just for swag. You love to see it. I imagine we're going straight to Crystal Peak now. Kind of like the basic route you see a lot of the time is, you know, dash, claw, soul sanctum. Oh, we're not. Oh, we might be going to Elder Who? I was wondering when he was planning to do that. The platforming here is going to be fun to watch, I'm sure. Yep. I was kind of expecting something like that. Because normally going that way is a little bit tricky, to say the least. I just want to see Elder Who get absolutely destroyed. That would be nice. That would just make my day. You can go in between those? I did not know you could squeeze in between those pillars, or pancakes, or whatever you want to call them. Okay, that was cool. I enjoyed that. I did not know you could squeeze in between those. That's awesome. Oh, and not save and quitting. Well, I guess if he did save and quit, he would just go back to Soul Sanctum. That would not be a good save and quit. So we're going up toward Crystal Peak, I guess? Probably. Interesting routes. Like, obviously the route has... It ends up being a bit weird because you can't collect any Geo. Normally you would just buy a lantern to get into Crystal Peak. And normally for the true ending route, they do like a rush to get Dreamgate as quickly as possible, because obviously the sooner you have Dreamgate, the sooner you can start using it to save time. So typically people get Dreamnail as fast as possible, and then they do it actually before they go down to get Claw, because you can do a clawless shade skip to Blue Lake, and then you can just get Elder Who as you go down to Claw. Funny enough, that's one of the reasons why I didn't run True Ending, is because I hated having Elder Who at the beginning of the run. You just have this horrible RNG bastard ruining your runs. not fun. Although the run itself is pretty sweet overall. There's just like a lot of combat. A lot of good boss killing. But yeah, use and dive to get into Crystal Peak, kind of what you'd expect. Now we're going all the way through to get Crystal Heart, and I'm curious whether he takes the time to get Descending Dark, because it seems like he's going to be using Abyss Shriek for damage once he like gets around to picking that up. So Descending Dark might not be necessary, but maybe it's still helpful enough. Lots of nice movement. I was wondering why he dashed twice to the right there. Just to get Walkling storage, of course. I absolutely love these TASs. Yarlik has done such an amazing job with these. I can't believe I put off watching this for like 3 months. It's so fun to watch. Oh, sweet underplat. Much better than the normal underplat. So I don't remember if he benched. No. Okay, he's not save and quitting. So I might be getting Descending Dark then. Maybe that's why he left Zero alive, because he's going to kill Zero after Descending Dark. Oh, the big pre-jump. Ignore the grub. Aw. Unfortunate. The dark room with Walkling storage, of course. I mean, it's kind of interesting to think that like the TAS does have a pretty big advantage. Like normally for players it's faster to save and quit more, but because the TAS can maneuver through these rooms so quickly, there might be like pretty big differences in terms of the route, in terms of like whether they save and quit or not. He's luring that Crystal Hunter up so that when he picks up Descending Dark, it hits him out of this animation. Because that animation takes quite a while, so it's worth it to take the time to lure the Crystal Hunter to you. That's something players do in normal speedruns too. And yeah, we're going to Zero. Okay, makes sense. And he has Fury set up and Soul as well, which is nice. Lets him kill Zero super fast. You don't see pogo strats on Dream Warriors too often, but you can manipulate their position. Like I was talking about with Hornet, you can just pogo them, and then you can like make use of Descending Dark against them. Not something you see players do. Like normally players have Shade Soul, so like Shade Soul just insta-kills a lot of Dream Warriors, but this route does not get it. We don't even have Vengeful Spirit. Which is really like different from what you'd expect, but because of the fact that you can skip Vengeful Spirit early game, it's not like necessary. So it is a great option to deal damage, but if you can skip having to take that entire route through False Knight and Ancestral Mound, it's kind of worth it. Especially early game when you don't have dash, because it just takes a long time to walk. It takes a long time to walk places. Walkling storage is much faster. And now that we have Crystal Heart, we're actually going to be moving without Walkling storage sometimes. Where's he going now? Oh, he's going to fail champion. Like, one of the interesting things about this is how much not being able to unlock stag stations changes the routing, because like my brain is still thinking, why didn't he go to the stag station? He can get resting ground stag and dirtmouth, but he cannot get Forgotten Crossroads because he cannot pick up Geo to unlock the stag station. But yeah, now we finally get to kill False Knight. It's gonna take like 2 seconds. Oh, and we got some Geo to dodge. You don't have to kill those husks. There are ways to actually avoid having them die. I forget exactly how to do it, but I've had it happen in runs. Just watching the Geo orbit around him. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, we're going to be doing this boss and then fail champion right after. And the main damage he's going to be using is probably just lots of Descending Dark to kill the boss as quickly as he can. So yeah, like, getting Descending Dark at this point does make a lot of sense. Just because he won't be able to get Abyss Shriek right away, so like having the extra DPS is gonna save a lot of time on these bosses. You can see he starts Descending Dark while the boss is above him and jumping down onto him. So the iframes start, and then the boss passes through him, and then he gets the dive hitbox as the boss passes through him. Because like part of Descending Dark is the actual dive itself. There are multiple hitboxes on the spell. There's the dive, and then there's the impact, and then there's the shockwave after. The dive hitbox when you're falling doesn't actually deal that much damage, but it still is like a nice DPS increase. I didn't realize you could actually do that, like get the iframes from the dive and then the dive hitbox after as the boss falls through you. Pretty interesting to see. I don't know if I do that in a run. It seems kind of dangerous, but it is very cool to see a TAS do it. So I think Dreamgate is 800. It's been so long since I've done any of these like non-any percent speedruns where you actually have to do other parts of the game. Is Dreamgate 900? If Dreamgate were 800, he would not be leaving right now. Dreamgate was not 800. Where is he going? Oh, he's going to Gorb. Okay. He's going to Gorb, and then he's getting Dreamgate. Okay. Got it. Any percent runner knowledge right now. Gorb is going to be another one of those bosses where you're probably going to see Pogos into Descending Dark. Oh, just slapping the Georock. Was that a Georock? Or an enemy? I don't know. Oh, it was the Crawlid, or Tick or whatever. Always get those two mixed up. Yeah, it's going to kill Gorb and then save and quit, I believe. Very fast kill. That's the power of using spells when you have a level 1 nail. Okay, we have 900 essence. Very quickly. Just 30 minutes into the run. I mean very quickly for a zero geo run. The true ending run gets it faster than that. But they don't quite have the same restrictions as Yarlik has right now. The restrictions that Yarlik has are a lot tougher than the normal speedrun. But we got Dreamgate. So you often grab some extra essence, just for like dream gating around, because dream gating of course costs essence. It's grabbing a lot more than what you'd normally see though. Interesting. Like normally you just see the runner pick up like a few essence. So I wonder if he's integrated more essence trees into the run. Something worth noting is that he can't do no eyes. So like maybe he has to collect a bunch of essence. Because no eyes is just like the dark room tolls. You need to have lantern in order to fight no eyes. Otherwise you can't interact with it. I just realized that. That just occurred to me. Oh, skipping King Station. Bench. Would have expected him to bench there. But yeah, we need to do Hornet 2. We need to do Markoth. So there's plenty of stuff to do over here. That's the like annoying version of the acid skip. Normally you'd have Monarch Wings for that acid skip. And it's like way easier to do that way. There are little spots where you can do wall jumps in that area. Normally you need to lure the Aspid over, but I used Walkling Storage to avoid having to do that. And we get to see Hornet get beat up again. Oh, you can see the dive hitbox there. Hornet got staggered by it. That's the reason why I think a lot of casual players don't use spells too often, is because they don't understand the damage and the hitboxes of the spells very well. Like, if you showed that to a casual player before they fought the boss, that would probably make things a lot easier on them. Like, goddamn, Descending Dark deals a lot of damage. He doesn't even have Shaman Stone, by the way. Like, that's a lot of damage. I even, like, at the beginning of the run, Shaman Stone is such, like, a mandatory part of speedruns for me that I just assumed he would get Shaman Stone at some point. But no, you can't get Shaman Stone if you can't pick up Geo. Little known fact. Oh, and his UI is just gone. Looks like he's going down now. Yeah. Is he getting Isma's Tear? Or Broken Vessel? Okay. He's not even going to be able to get Hidden Stag Station. That's so sad. So he's going to have to make this trek again. Or, why did I think Broken Vessel? He's probably going to the Abyss, because he just did Hornet. Okay, he is going Broken Vessel, because he needs Monarch Wings. Okay, never mind. Don't listen to me. I was thinking he might just use like Walkling Storage strats to get through, but it seems like he's sticking to the NMG rules, so like he's not going to use Walkling Storage to do skips that he normally couldn't. It's funny that you can outrun the Geo. Run is not the right verb. You can outrun the Geo, kind of. Now we're going to Broken Vessel, and then... oh yeah, he needs to do Lost Skin anyway. Like, of course he's doing Broken Vessel. He needs to do Lost Skin. I am getting so exposed right now. Jesus Christ. I'm just here to enjoy the run, okay? I'm not going to pretend to be an expert anymore. It's been so many years since I watched True Ending. I want to get back into 112% though. That'll be cool. 112% is such a sick category. True Ending is really sick too. But True Ending, it's hard to sell. So yeah, after this, he's going to go back to Lost Kin, and then I assume he's going to Abyss while he's down here, because it'll take too long to like make the trek all the way back. Yeah, one of the best parts of True Ending is just watching all of these boss fights. They're so much fun to watch. Like, whether it's a TAS or like a really skilled player, they're just a ton of fun to watch. And you can see he's like, basically, you can AI manipulate a lot of different things with the TAS. So you can see like that dive hitbox or dive attack that Lost Kin is doing. That's clearly like a pretty good attack for him to punish, because he can dive that attack and get the boss with the dive hitbox really easily. A lot of the other attacks you'll only be able to hit with like 2 out of 3 of the Descending Dark hitboxes, just because the boss is like moving horizontally. But if Lost Kin is doing the dive straight downward, you can get all 3 hitboxes. So you'll just see bosses doing like a weird amount of the best attack if you're watching a TAS. Because the RNG has to be the same every time, because the TAS is like, you can think of the TAS, it's just like a list of inputs on what to do on every frame. That's basically what a TAS is. So like if the RNG changes, then it's going to get out of sync and the rest of the run isn't going to work. So the RNG has to be fixed. And I forget how they manipulate it. I don't really know exactly how that works. And it's different for like every game, I think. Anyway. We are getting Shriek real quick. What is HP? Start showing 0. That's kind of concerning. I assume that's when he died to Lost Kin. You do... I should explain. There's a death warp out of Lost Kin's arena. And it's the same thing with Failed Champion. Basically, like, once the boss dies, you can also die and warp out of the arena and still get credit. So you don't have to watch the long, like, warping out of the arena animation. And that just ends up saving time. That's something that players do too. It's really easy to do against Failed Champion, because you just usually Shade Soul the boss and then jump off the platform. With Lost Kin, there's like a kind of non-intuitive timing, but it saves a lot of time, so it's always worth doing, unless you hate time save. Love the frame perfect closing the inventory and dashing on the perfect pixel. You love to see it. And yeah, that was a kind of gross looking sprite. But as soon as you touch the void, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know what the lore of the game is, okay? As soon as you touch the thing, you can save and quit out, because you get Shade Cloak the instant you enter that bowl of black stuff. You can just save and quit out. Looks like we're going to Watcher Knights now, and we're getting our first Dreamer. I assume, like, for Essence, we just have Markoth and Marmu in terms of, like, Dream Warriors, because we can't do No Eyes. And I think all the other Dream Warriors are done, unless I'm forgetting one. So I'm curious what the rest of the Essence routing will be like, because he picked up so much Essence in Resting Grounds that I assume he might have to hit other Dream Trees to make up for... Well, he might be doing other bosses, like, just absolutely destroying the Watcher Knights. You love to see it. He might be doing, probably not Zod, because you have to do, like, Colosseum, right? That would be a big time loss. Possibly White Defender. Because White Defender, I think that just requires Dreamers. I'm just picking up the chest just for fun. So this is a trick called Insta-Wings. Basically, it's just like super frame perfect releasing and hitting a button. And normally whenever you cast... Normally whenever you double jump, there's like a period where you dip down before the double jump activates, because it has a delayed activation. If you do like a perfectly timed release of jump and double jump input, then you get insta wings. At least that's my understanding of how it works. Not 100% sure. It's really hard to do. Okay, so insta wings is cool. If you see it, it's cool. That's all you need to know. It's really hard. But basically, you know it's insta wings when you don't see the player dip down at all. Normally you see that little dip before double jump starts. Or going back to Resting Grounds. Is he using this stag? Yeah. Because this is the only other stag that he can get. At least right now, right? Does Queen's Gardens require... I think it's also not a toll, right? Right? My expert status is being revoked. Okay, we're just going to Umu. Makes sense. Just it's such a roundabout way to get there without the stag stations that I'm just like so confused by it. So after this, we'll be entering like Queen's Gardens, and from there we might see him go to Marmu and White Lady. Most likely, I think. Being able to Dreamgate outside Teacher's Archives is such a time save. Oh, this is making me want to speedrun. I haven't done speedruns since I did any percent NMG. And that run is like so optimized that it's kind of like, it's more for competition than it is for fun. Which is kind of weird to say, like, everyone thinks speedrunning is like just for fun, but it's kind of like, I don't know. Sometimes you just want to do something cool. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you want to like challenge yourself with something. And for me, that's always been any percent. It's never been about the fun. It's about the goddamn time save. That's what it's about. The time save. It is kind of nice how this restriction actually makes the run a fair bit longer though, and forces the TAS to do movement that like normally you wouldn't go through a lot of these rooms in the same way that the TAS does. Because of the fact that you can't use stack stations, it forces you to do some like really unorthodox routing. And that's awesome. That's really cool to see. On top of the run just being like super cool and flashy. Like there's clearly also a lot of thought that has to go into it. So it's cool for a lot of reasons. Oh, wall cling storage QGA. That is optimal. Much more optimal than old school C- QGA. Okay, so that was a dream nail drop. So basically, if you dream nail the instant that you fall off a ledge, it's kind of like inventory dropping on latest patch, where you have to do an inventory drop the frame that you leave a ledge, because the game still thinks that you're on the ground. That's why you're able to open the inventory at that moment. So you can also do other things like dream nailing, even though you're technically not on the ground, the game still thinks that you are because it was just one frame ago that you left. So you can dream nail as you fall off a ledge, and it actually gives you inventory drop speed, which is pretty funny. Why that happens, I don't know. It's because, like, I guess you don't have normal physics while you are dream nailing. You also used to be able to crystal dash as you fell off a ledge, but they patched it. They patched that, but not the dream nail drop. It's because there was a skip where you could crystal dash drop in that like tall room leading to Isma's. You could crystal dash drop instead of doing like the spike bogo in that little spike tunnel, and that was super cool. And we were actually considering putting that into the NMG rule set. I'm just like babbling about stuff, but my eyes are fixated on the geo. It's really funny to watch. And the replay. I love the way that TASs make creative use of like up slashes and pogos. Because it's really like, in a lot of circumstances, it's basically not realistic at all for players to do that kind of thing. But if you have like a TAS, obviously you can take advantage of like manipulating enemy position, because you don't have to worry about like hitting a wrong what the heck? Hitting a wrong input and getting hit. I knew you could shriek these enemies as they spawned, but I didn't know that it would... Was it like knocked upward? That was really weird. Trader Lord whilst dodging Geo. Let's go. I love this run. This is so good. The best part is easily the replays, just so you can watch. Just so you can rewatch the most fun parts. But even like the movement through the rooms is a pleasure to watch too, not just the geo dodges. So did he Dreamgate to go to Marmu? I assume he did, right? I wasn't... Oh, he didn't Dreamgate to go to Marmu. Okay, so... might be doing White Defender? I apologize, I don't know what I'm talking about, okay? I'm an any % runner. I never claimed to know anything else about the game. I know any %, that's it. Dream getting here to go to Galeon. Oh yeah, Galleon exists. But does Galleon require Lantern? I actually forget. I think Galleon might require Lantern to get to, but I'm not sure it requires Lantern to actually fight Galleon. And it doesn't really require a Lantern to get to either, but I think the room outside of Galleon's room is dark. And that's a shortcut into Beast Den, in case you were not aware. You can use that shortcut if you have double jump and just skip having to sit on the bench. That's something we were considering in the 80% route long ago. Do we make this enormous detour to get double jump just to skip having to do Beast Den? Ugh. Beast Den is the absolute worst in speedruns, so might be worth it. Even if it loses time. But yeah, we've got all 3 Dreamers now. We've got like 1,300 Essence. And fun fact, you actually have to leave Beast Den in order to Dreamgate out. Well, in order to use Dreamgate. You cannot Dreamgate while inside of Beast Den because they want to keep you trapped inside, I guess. Nope, we're collecting Essence in the dark. Fun. This is such like a big room in the dark. Like something that's kind of tough about dark rooms is if you get hit by a hazard, you spawn at the room that you entered the dark room from. The TAS doesn't have to worry about that, obviously. So it looks like we are going up to Galleon. So Galleon is accessible. So it's just no eyes that you can't interact with without Lantern. That's what I thought was the case, but wasn't 100% sure. So it seems like he's gonna have to do more essence trees. God, these bosses die so quick to level 2 spells. Again, without Shaman Stone. No Shaman Stone and the bosses still die that quickly. Trampass? Was wondering if he was getting Trampass. So, like, again, because of the fact that he doesn't have stags, I guess he's getting Tram so he can go back to Ancient Basin. That's my guess, anyway. Because Basin has White Defender close by. And it, of course he has to go to Basin to get to White Palace. And also Void Art. Basin is kind of important in the late game. Sharp Shadow? What? Do those spikes not have a hitbox? What happened? I love learning new things from TASes. But why did he get Sharp Shadow? Just for, like, speed? Like, Sharp Shadow gives you faster dashes. Yeah. But it takes time to get. Alright. We're using Sharp Shadow. And, like, Sharp Shadow deals damage based off your nail damage, which is really low. So it's not like it's for damage. But there's got to be, like, a... Maybe it's just for, like, swag. I don't know. Just to do some Sharp Shadow dash strats. We're actually going to Kingdom's Edge. You don't have to do hive, do you? No. Oh, we're going to Markoth. I forgot about Markoth. Just like most casual players, just wipe Markoth from my memory. Don't want to have to think about Markoth. So... What's the dream gate for? Oh, I guess probably going... I'm like trying to speculate about this route, but I'm not totally sure where he's going after Markoth. That's so fast. Not totally sure where he's going. Like there, he is white defender, but it's kind of like awkward to get to from here. But maybe it's the best option. Looks like he's going in that direction though. Oh, I know why he got Sharp Shadow. It's because of the Sharp Shadow wall cling storage. So wall cling storage, it preserves your dash speed, right? So if you're... Oh, he's not going to... Does he already have all the essence that he needs? Am I stupid? Anyway, let's talk about something I understand. So wall cling storage preserves your dash speed, and Sharp Shadow increases your dash speed with Sharp Shadow dashes. So if you preserve that speed with wall cling storage, then you can stay at Sharp Shadow dash speed, which is very fast, as you can see. That's why he got Sharp Shadow. Is it actually faster? I'm not sure. But it's pretty fast. Probably saves enough time, I think. Okay, so yeah, I don't know how much essence you need to beat the game. If he needed more essence after this, he would not be here, so it's 1800 confirmed. There we go. Again, don't listen to me ever about game knowledge. If you saw my appearance on Blue's trivia game show, you know. Fireborn does not know shit about this video game. It's funny because there was a time when I knew all of this, but then you just like, you don't do the runs for such a long time. And you just like, I've been doing so many randomizer runs for the past few months. I don't know the base game anymore. You just get Dreamgate and Ascended Dreamnail whenever you want, whenever you pick it up, right? But yeah, this route makes sense. And seeing White Palace with wall cling storage strats is going to be entertaining. Making use of Sharp Shadow too. There are lots of spots where it's like optimal to Crystal Dash still. But always using the... You can pogo the clouds. In case you were not aware. So you can basically skip having to do that King's Mold completely. That Sharp Shadow dash speed is insane. But yeah, there's spots all up that side of the room where you can pogo the clouds. It's just like, I guess they accidentally left a flag on with those objects that allows you to pogo them, even though it's like definitely not intended. Oh my god, that's so fast. Now the runs become all about Sharp Shadow wall cling storage, which I love. Oh my god. I haven't actually seen like white. I don't know if I've seen White Palace in a TAS like ever. So this TAS was made before Shrogos were discovered. So no Shrogo strat here. Actually, we probably would have seen Shrogo strats in other places. Possibly. I don't know if there's that many spots where you can actually use Shrogos to save time, but Shrogos, I'm referring to Shriek Pogos. By the way, not everyone knows what a Shrogo is. The Shriek Pogo is when you cast your Abyss Shriek and you can actually pogo on it, which we found out a couple months ago. Or it might not have even been a couple, might have been like, yeah, it's like what, a month ago, I think. 6 years after the game released, we discovered you can pogo your Abyss Shriek. It's kind of precise, but it's not like crazy precise. So it's funny that we never found out until recently. And of course, like when I posted it, there were a ton of people on YouTube who were like, yeah, I've been doing this for years. I can't believe you stupid speedrunners just found out about it. My uncle works for Team Cherry. And he told me. Anyway. Already almost done with White Palace. Oh, there's a little thorn stand. I actually knew about that one. Alright. Showing off. Although that, I'm sure that saves time, so it's not like it's showing off for the sake of it. This TAS has had a lot of that, which I appreciate. Alright, we've got King Soul completed. So all that's left is Void Heart and Radiance. So the run is almost done. Of course, it's a little bit tricky to actually get to places, because he's going to go to the stag station to equip King Soul, but he can't actually use the stag. So fun. Oh, he had to unequip Sharp Shadow because it doesn't have enough charm notches to equip King Soul and Sharp Shadow at the same time. King Soul takes 5. And I'm not sure if Gathering Swarm costs notches with his setup. It looked like it might have still took a notch, but I'm not. Oh, that was weird. It said 3 notches and then it said 7. Yeah, it looks like the way he's playing. Dreamwielder, of course, takes 1, and Gathering Swarm takes 1, because he has 7 notches right now. All right. Abyss Climb time. Abyss Climb, people hype it up because, well, of course, it's like a pretty sick segment of the game, but also because a lot of speedrunners compete for the fastest Abyss Climb time. And these runs are like insanely optimized. I might make a video on it at some point, because like the speed the players do this climb at is pretty insane. Like, it's pretty close to what this TAS is doing right now. And like imagine a player doing it this quickly. Of course, players don't really insta-wings this much, but the climbs are very fast, and it's insane to see. It's just like some person at some point decided, okay, I'm gonna speed run this room, and it's gonna be sick, and then everyone else just joined in. Really fun to see. And we got Void Heart, so we just have Radiance to do right now. Oh, and of course, yeah, I forgot that the Dream Gate was set there, but that lets him just stag straight over. Opting for Spell Twister makes sense because it's not like he has a high DPS build, so it's pretty important to get the extra damage. There's not that much movement left in the run, so Sharp Shadow is not super important. I wanted to implement that Infection Blob Pogo into the any % run, but it's pretty tricky to do. And if you miss, you lose like 2 seconds. But basically, you just pogo that Infection Blob after you dash, and you can get straight up into the spot where you do the Crystal Dash. I wanted to implement that so bad. One of the few strats that I discovered back in my day. I found a lot of little movement strats like that, but not many like skips. Alright, time to watch the final bosses. It's kind of fun to watch this boss with a bit shriek, because the boss just gets melted. Oh, interesting that the shriek does not trigger the parry in that spot. I wonder if it was because of the height. Because, like, based off the timing, it really seemed like the parry... Oh, wait. Parries... Do they not get triggered by a Abyss Shriek? It's been a while, okay? Because, like, Vengeful Spirit, that's what we use in the any % speedrun. I can talk about that for days. Abyss Shriek? Alright. Radiance time. This is probably going to be pretty fast, too, because he has a Abyss Shriek, so... Just squeezing between the swords. You actually see players do this too, like with any Radiance, is they just like don't land on the ground anymore. That's just like the high level Radiance stuff now. Just keep pogoing the boss forever. I remember back when I thought Radiance, the floor is lava, was like pretty cool. Back in like 2019. Now it's just normal. All these crazy new players have left me behind. Of course, this is a TAS, so that's acceptable. It's cool to see that he does like the jump up toward the climb so early. I love it when I see players do that, although it's really rare. But we're done. That was awesome. Huge shout outs to Yarlik for making this. Because I've been saying that I want a TAS run that's just like cool ass unnecessary strats for the longest time, just with like a weird ass goal. Because you see so many TAS runs that are just like the regular speed run but fast. This is like something that's pretty different. And True Ending is also nice to see just because you get to see so much combat against bosses. So yeah. Go check out Yarlik's YouTube channel. He posts a lot of TAS related content for Hollow Knight. You definitely would enjoy it if you enjoyed watching this, so go give him a subscribe. I think that's it for the video. Let me just double check. Is there no like post-credits content? No, there's nothing. Okay. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.